All right. Hello and welcome. My name is Paige Lucier Johnson, and today we are talking about the sacred heart chakra with a dear friend who you might see on camera. This is Kat Artemis. If you see her, she's a dear friend of mine, and I like to talk to people instead of just a screen. She's with me today. The sacred heart chakra. So we know about the main chakras that we have. And the reason why I want to talk about the sacred heart chakra is because for me, the heart chakra is a big center from which I work from. And the heart chakra is the only chakra that's connected to every single organ in your body and to every chakra in your body. And just like love, we are all going to experience it in different ways, and it might activate for different people in different ways. And I'll just tell you a little bit about my story with the chakras. I was very close to the 7 chakras, and I wanted to go more, and I wanted to learn more and go deeper. And my guides started opening up the sacred heart chakra for me. And for me, it started in a pulsing that was underneath my rib cage. And I couldn't quite understand what it was. There was like this heartbeat that was underneath my rib cage. And I would go into meditation and I would try to understand what it was, because it was low. It wasn't connected to my heart per se. It wasn't there. But I could feel that it was a loving center. And as I started working with my guides and going deeper and just kind of meditating on that pulse or meditating on that energy, I first saw pink, which was this beautiful pink color, which was an answer to the question of why is the heart chakra, which is green, sometimes shown as pink? And why is love so associated with the color pink? I was asking these questions. And what my guides were showing me is the red plus white creates a pink. That's how you act in this world. And when you act in this world through love, it activates this sacred heart center in your body, which means you're acting in love. You are finding the oneness with everyone around you. And it was around this time that I started to really connect to the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is a Hawaiian prayer. There is a book that I love to listen to on Audible by Joe Vitale. It's called Zero Limits. And the creator or the main teacher or guru of Ho'oponopono is actually recorded. And in his voice, you can hear him talk about that prayer, which is, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I'm just now starting online to see this prayer kind of coming out and becoming more popular in the spiritual community, but they're so often leaving out, I forgive you. And that is one of the most important parts for me, because I had to work through a lot of forgiveness in my own spiritual journey. I held on a lot. I could say I'm sorry, right? I could say I love you. Those words came easy. Thank you comes easy to me. Forgive me comes easy because it was about me. Like, I can ask for forgiveness. I can do these. But for me, the key phrase that I struggled with was, I forgive you. And I'm not surprised that a lot of people are leaving that one key sentence out of this prayer, because forgiveness is a gift for yourself. And it is one of the hardest things to do. Forgiveness is a journey, and it will unfold to you more and more and more. The first thing is just saying, I forgive you. Then soon you won't be triggered by that person. Soon you will learn to love that person. Soon you will understand the gift that they had for you and the lesson that you had to learn within all of it, and how it hurt, but that in that hurt was a life lesson that your soul came here to learn. And so this prayer was very connected for me with this chakra as I was working through some really deep traumas that I had from my childhood and learning how to forgive and see that story from a different perspective. And it was a spiral. First it was, I can't imagine ever forgiving this person because they're evil and they're bad and what they did was wrong. And then it was, I forgive this person because it's hurting me too much to hold on to this. And I've got to let it go because I need to move past this. It's not about them, it's about me forgiving them so I can move past this. And then it evolves into, wow, I wonder what that person was going through to go through that. Like what happened in their life, in their childhood that made this happen to them? And then it was, who would I have been if that didn't happen to me? Think about all the strength that I've gained from it. And think about all of the ways that I've learned to love in really beautiful ways because of this. And then it was, as I forgive deeper, I'm starting to connect to the higher self of this being, and I'm starting to access the Akashic records and understand why this soul came into my life and what happened in past lives and how we all connected together for our highest goods together. And then it was, we're all one, we're all connected. And that just started with the seed of, I forgive you. Even when I wasn't ready to forgive, I wasn't ready at all. But that spiral had to happen. And it is still unfolding because there are still moments where something will come up to remind me of that trauma and I will feel it and I will relive it and I will get angry and sad and go, why? Why, if on a spiritual perspective, why would I choose that? Why would I want that? Like, why? And then the unfolding happens again, right? Where your guides come in and they give you that unconditional love because they feel that pain and they understand. And then you unfold even deeper and you see deeper. And that's where the phrase, I forgive you, has power. So as I was working through my forgiveness and understanding what the little version of me was experiencing, and what the little version of them had experienced to cause this, and what the past life experience of all of us had to do with this, I started to learn that we are really one. So what happens in you happens in me. We're mirrors from each other. People don't just come into each other's lives randomly, right? When someone triggers you, when someone comes in for you, I start to look at them as a teacher. God, I'm so mad at this person. I can't stand them. I can't be in the same room as them. Turns into, what is this person trying to teach me? Like, why? Why am I so upset every time this person opens their mouth? Like, why does it make me angry? Why do I look at them and feel this in my body? What's the gift in it for me? What's the lesson? And I start asking the higher self of that person, what are you teaching me, right? And it's not that I can always do it in that moment of the trigger. Sometimes this is how I'm still triggered and I become the drama queen and I have a little temper tantrum for a grown up. And then later I go, oh, that was a trigger. Wow. I need to work through that, right? And you work through that in prayer and meditation. But as you get more and more, suddenly you're seeing it in the moment, you're seeing it, you're going, I'm reacted, and you go, and you take a deep breath and you go, how can I choose differently? My normal reaction would be to throw a temper tantrum and yell at this person, right? How can I react differently, right? And that prayer, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I forgive you, thank you, is what and it's not all the time, when I can catch myself being triggered, that's the prayer that I say in my head, because I can start to see them as a mirror of me. There is something about them that reminds me so much of a shadow aspect of myself that I'm crawling out of my skin to get away from them. And as I go, okay, this is a shadow part of myself that I'm going to love. I'm going to love that shadow part of myself, and I'm going to try to understand what that shadow has for me. what lesson is in that shadow for me. This is really was the impetus of my healing. I mean, I was working with spiritual teachers and they had modules on forgiveness. And I was like, you can't tell me to forgive. You don't know, right? Slowly turning into me forgiving. But it took a long time. So forgiveness is a journey. When you're working from this sacred heart center of seeing everyone as a teacher, right? Namaste, we say it so much, right? There's like restaurants called Namaste Cafe. Ooh. What does it really mean? Namaste means I respect the Buddha in you. You respect the Buddha in me. I respect the enlightened one in you. You respect the enlightened one me. It's saying I'm you. You're me. That's what namaste means. But when we say namaste, I see people say it all the time from this floaty, cute, like, namaste. So shallow. When you're saying namaste, you're saying, namaste. I see you. Not just that I see you, but I see all of you and I love all of you. Namaste. I see the spirit in you. I see the Buddha in you. And when you say it back to another person, you say, I see you too. And there's the mirror, the reflection that happens, which is why I don't say namaste much. Because for me, when I say it, it has so much meaning. It is not coming from this little floaty place of, yoga pants and perfumes and, crystal shops. Like I live in this world. I work in this world. It's not superficial for me. And there's a shadow aspect that's coming up that I'm being triggered, that there are people that wear yoga pants and that's part of their spiritual journey. I get that, right? But it's all the little things that unfold. And when we start to see that in ourselves, we go, oh, wow, it really is all a beautiful lesson. And the lesson and the transformation of self that we're working to achieve when we're on the spiritual path is self-awareness, observation, and transformation. That means we catch ourselves and our triggers and our shadows and we choose a different path. It's not that we stay in the same place. It's that we are continually spiraling forward and things will bring us back and pull us down and we'll have our bad days. Because you're a spiritual person does not mean you need to wear a mask of being perfect and happy all the time and coming from a place of joy. I work in joy. It doesn't mean I'm joyful all the time. It means that I strive for joy because I know how fleeting it is. And when I truly experience joy, I experience bliss. And that's when I feel my nirvana. That's when I feel my higher self come up. It does not mean that I live in it all the time because that would be a mask, because that's just not true. Now, when I started working with spiritual teachers, I was working with my sacred heart chakra, which was for me closer to my root chakra. It was connected to, for me, the Christed light of Jesus. I work with the crystalline grid. Christ is an ascended master. That's what Christ means. It means one who is ascended on earth. Buddha, Christ, these are all ascended masters. When you look at the primary colors of paint, we've got red, yellow, and blue. But when you look at the primary colors of light, you've got red, blue, and green, heart chakra. It all transforms with how we act in this world, how we speak in this world, and how we do it in love. If we do those three things, those three chakras, root, throat, and heart, if we act from those three power centers or will centers, we're going to be acting out of love. We're going to be acting out of wisdom. We're going to be recognizing the teacher in everyone that comes to our path. So when I started going down the spiritual path and working with a shamanic teacher, she was talking about the heart chakra being called Ananda Kanda, and the color was turquoise blue. And it blew my mind. I was like, am I wrong? Have I been making this stuff up? What does this mean? Like, why is this happening? And then I was triggered. I wanted to think that she was wrong or I was wrong. It was going to be a spiral of me just getting off the bandwagon. Like, that's it. I'm done. I'm making all this shit up. Like, I'm, like, what does this mean? And it took, I couldn't even watch her classes on it because I was so annoyed that I had a different experience. It took me a year to read her module that she had on the Ananda Kanda because for somehow it made me unworthy. It made me wrong. It made her right. It made her better. It made me feel like I was crazy. But as that spiral, right, that forgiveness came in, my teacher was triggering me. I was jealous. My ego was involved. I was trying to find reasons and excuses of why this wasn't here. And then I read what she had. And I was like, oh, the heart is an organ that beats to every part of our body. The heart is not only an organ that connects to every organ, it connects to every chakra. And we all love differently. There are different words in different languages for love. In English, we have love, right? Like, I love you can be like, I love you, mom. I love you, dad. I love you, sister. I love you, brother. I love you, lover, right? I love you, strangey, crazy person. Like, I love you as someone you take care of. Love the coworker. Love is complex. And one word just doesn't cut it. Because if we're loving from our love center, we're going to experience love in different ways. Familiar, love, lust. We're going to have family and work and all of these different patterns that come out because we all experience love in different ways. And we experience them based on where our energy is flowing in our chakras, which is why I love the chakras so much, because it doesn't stop unfolding for me. I'm constantly learning more about the heart chakra and all of the chakras and how they connect to me and all of how I act and react in this world. And the wisdom of the Ananda Kanda that my teacher taught me was that it's like where a pendant sits on your chest, right? It's the Ananda Kanda that comes from this tradition means the root of bliss, right? I was kind of coming from the root chakra, right? Red, but this is more from the blue, which is speaking our words and creating the reality in which we live. Now, the way that you love and experience the world is very similar. As you speak the world into being, you see the magic in it all and the reflection in it all. But you're doing it through constant repetition of words and love. Now, the story of Buddha is that he sat underneath the tree and he asked to understand how to make peace in this world. And he just kept sitting there until he could understand it. And in that moment of stillness, of trying to understand peace, he learned that we're all connected. I see the Buddha in you. You see the Buddha in me. That's the inherent teaching of Buddhism, is that we are all one. We're all mirrors for each other. So the root of bliss, if you think about it, there's a sacred tree in the middle of a lake, and the lake is surrounded by a garden, and the garden is surrounded by beautiful grounds, and the beautiful grounds is surrounded. That's the unfolding that we're talking about. They're so similar. It's all about loving and seeing everyone as one, but we're all going to come to it in different ways, right? And that's the beauty of this center. I came to it through my forgiveness, which was an action that I needed to do. We can also come to it through our words and speaking kindness and love to other people, right? We are on this spiral journey. I've also seen the heart chakra come through as an olive green, the sacred heart chakra come through as an olive green. That's using the yellow of our solar plexus, your light, to mix with the green. And that comes in more like right in that center, right underneath your breast, like right here. And again, it's just it's like a spiral. So if you can think of your heart as a crystal cave of awareness, there are many ways to get to that cave. And when we're in that crystal cave of awareness, we can sit in there and meditate on our thoughts, our deeds, and our words, and how we are creating the world in which we're living in right now. If there's something in your world right now that is not for your highest good, ask to be shown how you can create something different, because it's hard to hear this. You created it somehow. So you have to figure out what's the gift in this so I can create differently. And from that crystal cave, that's where you can create something new. You can visualize it. You can manifest it into your reality, your now moment, thus doing it for yourself, thus mirroring it for other people, just raising the collective as the spiral. As we evolve, so we help everyone evolve. It's all about doing the soul work, the shadow work. We can't be givers and healers and helping other people achieve enlightenment if we're not doing the own work. If you're working with a teacher who's not working with other teachers, who's not spiritually evolving, who think that they've got it all figured out, they don't have it figured out. We all are learning. We're just in different places. We're in different journeys, and we reach out our hands to each other and we say, I see the spirit, the Buddha in you, and you see the spirit in me, and we hold hands and we help each other. That's what this is about. That's where we live in this chakra. Now, as you know, I love oils and I love crystals. For me, I wanted to share this crystal. If you look at it, it's rhododendrite. Yeah. In the Native American tradition, this is considered to have the blood of our ancestors in it, the wisdom of our ancestors that come in. And this is how I see my sacred heart, because I came here to heal wounds from my ancestors. That's part of my mission. So, of course, this crystal would resonate for me, because this is about me learning and unlearning and forgiving with radical forgiveness and radical acceptance those who have hurt me, and to transform it so that cycle does not have to live on in our family line. That's why I came here. That's why I came here to experience the things that I did. And that's why I came here to forgive and to learn how to forgive the way that I'm learning how to forgive.
Wow. Love it.
Turquoise. There's that pendant, right? Speaking your truth. This is so important for, this is important for me too. My patron saint is Archangel Gabriel, and I choose Gabriel because I am a messenger and I speak with my words. Turquoise is about speaking your truth to helping other people find their truth. When you can act in love, when you can think in love, and when you can speak in word, love is how you change the world. Just in love. If you can do that, you're going to be making the world a better place. I am a Leo. My birthstone is peridot. This is a small little peridot. Peridot means a lot to me, and it's always been how I've connected with my fire, right? It's who I am and how I can be fire and earth. Isn't it interesting that a fire sign has a green stone? And that's who we are though, right? Because we're acting in love, and my love is passionate and strong, and my fire is bright, and my light is bright. And that's what I'm here to shine, not dim it for other people because I'm trying to fit in and wear masks for other people. That took me a long time as an actress and performer. And as a child of trauma, I learned very young how to be what other people wanted me to be, how to act the right way to get the love that I didn't feel that I deserved, but I wanted anyway. So I acted the way that they wanted me to act, the way that I saw other people acted. I just put on a character to receive the love. I didn't know how to really receive it. Taking that mask off is scary. To be vulnerable and be like, you've got to love me the way that I am, who I am. This is me. Messy, loud, funny, silly, totally tired, grouchy, all these things. It's all me. If you're going to love me, you've got to love me the way that I love myself. And I've had to learn how to love myself profoundly, which is not easy. This is a beautiful yellow jade, which for me is using my light in love, right? That's the yellow jade that comes through. That's where jade is known for manifestation and luck and bliss. That's where that comes in, right? That's where it happens, because when we're in bliss, when we're striving to be the best version that we can be, that's when we start manifesting and creating the world that we want. It's through love. Love is the key for it all. Essential oils for me, there's so many different oils: bergamot, blue tansy, ying lang. But for me, it all boils down to rose. For me, I've been working with Mother Mary since I was a young child, and the smell of rose petals always reminds me that I'm loved. And so rose for this center is a primary scent that you can use at any point and work with and connect, because rose is a beautiful, beautiful flower, and it has thorns. And we are beautiful, beautiful souls, but we have thorns. Those thorns make us who we are. They protect us. They keep us safe. But when we can be vulnerable and open up, we're the most gorgeous thing on the earth with the most heavenly scent. We are a rose. That's who we are. And like the lotus petal, I think we have the rose in the Western culture, right? So the Eastern culture looks the lotus through the mud, and which is the same thing as the rose, right? Like, I can't really in my mind see a lotus. I don't really understand it. Like, I understand lily pads and flowers, and they're pretty, but they don't bring the same connection to me as a rose. So remember to work with the symbols and the knowledge that you know. As we become teachers and we learn and we study, your gurus and your teachers are going to have different lives. So they're going to use different symbols. Their guides are going to work to them in different ways. Use the flower scent that comes to you. Use the image that works for you. For me, it's the rose. It's always been the rose. I remember being a little girl and walking through a rose garden and seeing all the different kinds of roses and all the different colors, and the smell was overwhelming. And I was like, this is heaven. Like, this is amazing. Like, there was just this peace and expansion that came to me. So while many cultures use the lotus, I use the rose. And that's a way that I've created a communication. The other day at work, I was having a hard day, and out of nowhere, my boss drops 3 rose petals on my desk. She's like, she's like, don't these smell pretty? And I was like, yeah, and it was just this reminder of like, I need to be acting this day in love. I'm having a hard day. I'm not really liking my boss. I'm not liking my job. I'm not liking how I have to make money in this world. And then she gives me rose petals, and I'm reminded, oh, I'm here for a reason. And the reason is to find the beauty in the now moment. Thank you.
I love that.
So be open to your guides, be open to messages, and trust what comes to you. And that's the most important thing. I just want to reiterate it before we end for today, is your guides are always working through you. Don't look up the significance of what someone else says something means. Trust when something comes into you that you know what it means. If you don't, Google it. If you go, I know this means something, but I don't know what, then you can Google it and find out the one that works for you. But this center is all about discernment, knowing your truth. I will not do this just because society is telling me to do this. I will not do go here just because, it's like, I will not believe that truth just because everyone keeps repeating it as truth, because it doesn't feel like truth, right? This is the Ananda Kanda. This is knowing your truth, which might be different from other people. And it's acknowledging that, okay, your truth is your truth. I respect you for going down that journey and path. But my truth is my truth. So please let me stand here in my authenticity. That's the blue right there.
Wow.
So as you work and as you evolve, remember to call on your guides. Remember to ask for help. Remember to ask for assistance. Remember to ask for signs, and trust the knowing of what comes to you and your own wisdom in understanding what it means to you. That being said, namaste, my dear friends.
Namaste. Thank you.
Blessings to all.